What's up guys, it's Bradley Overrated and today we are diving into Octopath Traveler. This game is a crazy RPG by Square Enix for the Nintendo Switch. It is also now available on Steam. It's been out for a couple of years now, I want to say. And I just wanted to have a chance to discuss this game as I never got around to discussing it before. So let's do this. And Octopath Traveler is a game that harkens back to those old school feel-good SNES days if you ever played Chrono Trigger or Secret of Mana or Final Fantasy III for the SNES, which is technically Final Fantasy VI, but we're not going to go into that right now. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It harkens back to those days, back to when I was just a child, and does it capture the spirit of those games? Yes. It does, for better and for worse, and let me get into what it does great. For starters, the combat is amazing. I absolutely love this combat system. You use battle points, and with these battle points you have to determine like if you want to do a super attack or if you want to save up your battle points, so to speak. So it's this bob and weave of, do I spend all the battle points healing my characters? Do I spend all the battle points attacking the enemies? And not only that, every single enemy has their own weaknesses, so you try to exploit their weaknesses and be able to use those against them. It's awesome. It is a great battle system, one of the best. I was extremely impressed, not only with the battle system itself, but also with the enemy designs in this game. They look fantastic. And speaking of things that look fantastic, can we just say the art in this game? Oh, it's gorgeous. 10 out of 10. I love it. They did such a great job of bringing this classic and traditional art style into the new era of gaming. I absolutely love it from head to toe. The boss fights are also just as exciting as anything else. I love the boss fights in this game. It is just great. So this game must be great. It's a flawless game, right? Well, not quite. So there are definitely some issues with Octopath Traveler, and when you get an RPG like this that can take anywhere between 50 and 100 hours depending on how much you want to do in this game, there's obviously going to be some issues. But one of the bigger issues I have in this game is the fact that all of the characters that you see on screen have this huge disconnection that the game kind of forces them to have. For example, because it's called Octopath Traveler, you have 8 individual stories that are told with each character. For example, here on the screen you have Honnet, and her story will go and you'll be able to play it, and then as you play through the game you'll encounter the other 7 characters and you'll get the stories accordingly. But the only type of talking each one of these characters has with each other is this banter system where they just have small talk and they get to know each other, but in the core main campaigns they don't talk to each other at all. And on one hand, I get it, because Square Enix wanted to demonstrate and tell you 8 individual stories, so on that hand it makes sense to not have them interact in the middle of the other stories. But on the other flip side of that, if you wanted to accomplish that, then just take out the banter altogether. You don't have to have these guys make small talk. Just the fact that they're going around fighting together would have been enough, and I would have been able to forgive this issue. It's just unfortunate that it's in there. And then another issue lies within the characters themselves, because every single character has their own class. You have a hunter, you have a priest, you have a thief, and so on and so forth. But some of these characters are just downright more useful and better than the other ones. For example, you are going to want to have the thief in your party at all times for the majority of this game, because as you travel around this beautiful world, you'll discover there are specialty chests, and the thief is the only person that can open these chests. If he's not in your party though, you have to go all the way back to a save point, switch your party members because you can't switch them on the fly, and then have the thief in your party, and then go once again all the way back to where that chest is just so you can get the item. And it's these types of things that are in the game, and that is also frustrating. When it comes to the stories themselves, I feel like each of them has something to offer, and I don't think any of them are particularly bad, but there are some that are just flat out better than the others. Primrose is a great example. Her story is one of the best out of the 8. I really enjoy her story, but the end game for a lot of the chapters for each of the characters is kind of annoying. And what I mean by that is, so what will happen is you'll go into a town, something will happen, you'll have to go to get your quest, and then you'll go to a forest, and then or a cave, then you'll go to a mansion and you'll fight a boss, and then you'll do the next chapter and it'll end up having you go into a mansion, which leads out into a forest, and then you'll fight a boss. And then the next chapter, you will go into a cave, which will lead into a forest, which will lead into another mansion, and you'll fight a boss. The majority of these chapters conclude with you fighting in either a forest, a cave, or a mansion. I don't know why this is. It doesn't have to be this way, I feel. And sometimes, they are a little different, but just be aware that you're going to be fighting in a forest, a cave, or a mansion all the time. And that reminds me of classic RPGs back in, the 90s, the early 90s, but I don't feel like that has to be the case now, and so it's kind of annoying to see it in a game that is this new. Alright guys, enough is enough. I've talked enough about this game. I think you get the general idea. At least I hope you do, because it is time for the letter grade! That's right, I do letter grades, and A being the best, F being the worst. And I know I kind of sounded like I was very negative. I just wanted to get those points across, because while those are some issues that I had with the game, I just want you guys to know that overall though, this is an excellent game. I'm sorry if I sounded so negative, but the truth is I did really enjoy my time with this game. I think I put in 75 hours, completed 4 or 5 of these character stories, and at that point I said I'm done. I've spent enough time in this world, but for the time I spent in it, I really enjoyed Octopath Traveler. Which is why I am going to give Octopath Traveler for the Nintendo Switch a B+. And I really did want to give it an A-, and you could easily argue why this game is a 10 out of 10 even for you. I wouldn't blame you in the slightest. It's just my personal opinion, but I want you to know that I did enjoy this game. It is a great game if you have it for the Nintendo Switch, and now that it is available on Steam, if you don't have a Nintendo Switch, that is a great option. If you're looking for an excellent turn-based RPG, this one is a winner. Alright guys, that's it for me. I just want to say thank you so much. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like here on the channel. I do always appreciate it, and you're more than welcome to subscribe and let me know also how wrong I was about my grade on this game. And yeah, that's it for me. I am Bradley Overrated, out like a trout. And if you'll excuse me, I am now going to head outside and go into a forest, which will lead me to a cave, and I'll end up at a mansion. Have a good one.
Come, if this beest thy will.